Do you ever feel like you are just stuck in a negative loop and cannot break yourself out of it? Well, if you do and you believe that you are alone, please know that you are not alone. I believe this is truly a human problem that is a challenge to overcome, and especially when you have added pressures on you, it can be even more challenging. So I just want to talk about that today in light of special needs families, having a member of your family with special needs that you're taking care of. And I just want you to know that you are not alone today. So if you are new here, my name is Heather Sweetman. I am a mama of 4. My youngest has quadriplegic cerebral palsy, and I'm here on YouTube to make the videos that I was searching for when we first started our special needs journey. And I make unedited videos while riding around in my car doing errands while my daughter is at therapy. And guys, I haven't been on here in a minute. Since January, not since January, but January and February, I just felt like I was stuck in this very negative loop, and I could not break myself out of it. And I don't know, you may not be aware of this, but we truly are not in control of the thoughts that come into our brain. But then once they are with us, it's our decision, okay, what do we do with this thought? And I just felt like I was being bombarded with so much negativity. Nothing that anyone was saying to me, just negative stuff that I just kept hearing in my own head, and just kind of a bad mental health space. And it's January in Chicago, so it's dark, it's cold, and the older I have become, the more I'm recognizing, one, I do feel like I have seasonal blues for sure, seasonal depression feels, I have dealt with depression in the past. Depression feels like too strong of a word, but on some days it feels very accurate. And so I think the combination of getting through the holidays, we've talked about this before on our channel, but typically the holidays can be really challenging and honestly a time when you're having to reface your grief. For anyone who is going through something challenging, and especially for special needs parents, for me, there are such sweet memories of our older 3 kids, with them on Christmas Day, and very specific memories, and it just looks very different with our youngest. Her name is Finley, and oftentimes she, it's not worth waking her up. She's, that won't be an enjoyable experience for her or for anyone else. So there have been many Christmases where we have done separate gift openings, and she's usually not at the table with us for Christmas dinner. And so anyway, there's just all of these things where you're just reminded of, this is not how life should be. This is not what I expected life to be. And so oftentimes with the holidays, it can, and for lots of different reasons for lots of people, those of us who have lost loved ones, when life just isn't looking how we thought or felt it should look on this particular holiday, there's some type of grief that our bodies go through. And so coming off of that, I felt like I did fairly well. I was really trying to process my emotions, really trying to be present. And then it was like we got through it, and almost like the busyness of the holiday season can, the busyness can kind of mask what's going on under the surface. And so I just felt like everything kind of came out in January, and by mid-February, I was so tired. And so my husband actually we try to do caregiving breaks. So once a quarter, we try to send me to a hotel or if I can get free lodging somewhere. Although, thank you, I don't really recommend credit cards unless you can pay them off every month, which that's how we use them. Total rabbit trail here. And that's how we cover most of my hotel stays. So he sent me away to a hotel for a few nights, and that just gave me the mental and emotional break that I need. I got to journal and process, and that just is what really broke me out of that loop. And I think that sometimes, not that you have to go to a hotel to get a break from everything, to break us out of those loops, but sometimes a change of scenery is really helpful, and just being able to make space to process through emotions and, okay, what am I thinking? What am I feeling? And, God, show me where this stuff is coming from. Is it something that I am believing that is not true, that you're trying to bring to light, so, I can then receive the truth? So many things. So that's like a whole other episode or whole other video. But it was a real down couple of months, negative loop cycles. And so finding ways to break ourselves out of that is really key. And sometimes, I think for me, it had been months building up to that, which may be why I was stuck for so long. I mean, it really wasn't that long in the grand scheme of things, but it felt, I think when you're in that space, it feels so intense. And for me, it was about 6 or 7 weeks of just feeling absolutely like I cannot get out of this. And I was doing things, so if you're brand new to this, if this is a new idea for you, which it's probably not, but things like talking with friends, talking with family members who are going to be helpful and like allow you to vent and process, and asking for prayer and just being vulnerable. I think sometimes we are just so afraid, like, I'm the only one who feels like this, I'm the only one who is experiencing this, no one's going to understand this. And the more I share, the more I am faced with the reality that is simply not true. Maybe someone isn't in my exact set of shoes, but one of the things that this experience of being a special needs parent has taught me is that our griefs don't actually look the same most of the time, but the themes of grief are really the same. So whether maybe we can't relate to what that person is going through, but we can relate in some aspect of the emotions that they're feeling, the feelings of isolation and feeling alone and feeling misunderstood and feeling unwanted, and just all of those things that really plague humanity and keep us separated. But if we can push through those things and be open and be vulnerable, and then so much beauty can come from those things. Now, that is so much easier said than done. I mean, so much easier said than done. And there's awkwardness, and vulnerability is scary, and there's the fear of rejection, and just so many things. But I would just encourage you to open up and share with someone who loves you and is for you, and learning to, I've had to learn, I'm sharing these things that I learned, but I feel like I have not learned them. I am learning them. And just simply to say, like, hey, I just need you to listen to me for, and I don't necessarily, I do want to know your thoughts, but I don't necessarily know if I could receive them right now, but I just want to share this with you, and I love you, and I know you're for me, and so I want you to know this part of me. And so anyway, so I have definitely been I was in a negative headspace for quite a few weeks, and then God really broke me out of that, showed me some really wonderful things. And then, you guys, this past month has been insane. I had an allergic reaction to a new mascara that I was trying, and I looked like I had been in a street fight without the bruises. My face was so, like right here, I looked like a different person. It was so swollen. And then at the end of that week, I threw my back out, which it's pretty normal for me to throw my back out like once or twice a year, but this was different to any other throwing of back out that I've ever experienced ever. And I'm still recovering, and it's been 4 weeks. And then last week, I got the stomach virus of death, as my friend calls it. And it was awful. I won't give you the details of that, but I was grateful that I didn't get the virus at the beginning of throwing my back out, because at that point, like, sneezing made me want to cry. So I cannot even imagine throwing up while in that space. So yeah, it has been an intense month. So part of me is just I've been really out of the habit of making videos. I'm trying to get back into the habit of it, and so just wanted to hop on here and say hello and let you know that if you have been in a similar spot, I get it, and you are not alone. So thank you for being here. I love you guys. If you have not subscribed, that really helps my channel. It tells YouTube that this is content worth promoting and people want to see. And guys, just as a side note, my husband and I had been doing some research to find other channels like mine, and I literally cannot find one channel that is making the kind of content that I'm making. Everything with special needs seems to be more about like a day in the life of, and I don't know, just like content that takes a lot more, to be honest, it takes a lot more time to create. I'm like, props to you guys for doing this. Or it's like a channel that's similar to that, but and there's great content on their channel, but they haven't posted in a year, 2 years, or whatever. And so the longevity, I think the reality of creating a YouTube channel that you can stick with is hard for anybody, but I think special needs parents just have a whole other set of responsibilities and demands on them that make it challenging to continue. So that's why I need your likes and subscribes and comments and all the things, because there's just not a lot of channels like mine, but I believe there's a need for it. I know I needed content like this, more of the emotional side of it versus like the practical, like this is how we get through the day. I remember just searching for, I don't know, like, how do you emotionally handle this transition, or I don't know, whatever. And I just couldn't find anything. So anyway, that's my little spiel. I love you guys. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.